forbidden to wear white wedding dresses, forbidden to wear makeup or jewelry, forbidden to be selfish or focus on personal health, and even more, Amish women are required to consider family care as a full-time responsibility. These deeply traditional views about women make the Amish community appear unusual and hard to understand. In this video, we will explore 25 rules that Amish women must follow, a community separated from the outside world in the United States that you might find hard to believe exists. Number 25. Not allowed to wear clothing of their own choosing. Amish women wear simple and modest clothing that they sew themselves. These clothes do not feature bright colors or elaborate designs. The reason is that the Amish value humility and modesty, avoiding showing off or flamboyance. Specifically, Amish women must wear plain, muted-colored dresses paired with white aprons, and they are prohibited from wearing makeup or any kind of jewelry. Even jewelry is not allowed because it is considered an excessive expression of modern life and inconsistent with the community's faith. There are also detailed rules about how to wear clothes. For example, the waistband of a woman's dress must be at least 2 inches wide. The dress must cover the knees when she is seated. Amish clothing rules also specify that garments must be made from natural fibers such as wool, cotton, and linen. Synthetic materials like polyester and nylon are not permitted for clothing. For a long time, the community has believed that what is inside, such as character and values, is more important than outward appearance. Therefore, their clothing reflects their commitment to living a simple and humble life. Number 24. Absolute obedience to the husband's authority. Amish rituals and traditions, along with teachings from the Bible, emphasize the importance of a woman's obedience. In the Amish community, women are expected to fully obey their husbands. This means they are to respect and follow all their husband's wishes and opinions. One reason why obedience is valued in the Amish community is that it helps maintain order and stability. By having a clear hierarchy where the husband is the head of the household, there is less room for disagreement and conflict. Another reason obedience is highly regarded is that it allows women to focus on their roles as homemakers and mothers. By following their husband's guidance, Amish women can avoid conflicts that might disrupt family harmony. Of course, this does not mean Amish women have no influence. They still play a significant role within their families and communities. In many ways, they are the backbone of the Amish community, responsible for farming work and household duties. Number 23. Not allowed to cut their hair. Amish women are not permitted to cut their hair. According to biblical tradition, a woman's hair is considered a crown for every daughter. Therefore, they are expected to keep their hair long throughout their lives, often wearing it in buns or braids. They also cover their hair with a headscarf whenever they leave the house. This head covering is typically a white bonnet or cap. The Amish believe that hair is a gift from God and must be treated with respect. Cutting hair is viewed as an act of defiance against God's will. Because of their similar clothing and hairstyles, Amish women tend to look very much alike, don't they? Additionally, Amish men, after marriage, are not allowed to shave their beards. They keep their beards as a sign of respect for God. Number 22. Not allowed to work outside the home. Women in the Amish community generally do not work outside the household because their primary role is to care for the home and family. They are taught skills such as weaving, harvesting, and tending to the fields, baking bread, and making various household items like baskets for shelves and woven willow beds for pets. Amish women are responsible for cooking, cleaning, and childcare. They also often assist with gardening and farm work around the home. While some Amish women do work outside the family, these roles are usually related to the community, such as midwifery or teaching. The Amish believe that women's involvement in the community is important. However, they also believe that women should not take jobs outside the home if it interferes with their family responsibilities. It is worth noting that there have been Amish women who pursued passions like painting and chose that path. Unfortunately, such choices have sometimes led to social exclusion from their community and family. Number 21. Wedding dresses are not allowed to be white. We're all familiar with brides wearing white wedding dresses, right? But Amish women do not wear white wedding gowns. In the Amish community, wedding dresses are never white. White is seen as a symbol of vanity and pride. Instead, Amish brides often wear blue or indigo-colored dresses. Blue is considered a symbol of purity, faithfulness, and loyalty. Indigo is associated with heaven and eternity. Wearing these colors on the wedding day represents a woman's lifelong commitment to her husband and community. Amish women usually sew their own wedding dresses. The fabric and design are simple and modest, without any flashy or bright decorations. The Amish believe weddings should be modest affairs. They view marriage as a sacred covenant between a man and a woman, not as a lavish or extravagant celebration. Therefore, Amish weddings are simple, without ornate rings or grand ceremonies. It is an important community event that highlights the values of humility and unity in marriage. Number 20. Dolls for girls have no faces. Amish dolls for young girls are unique in that they do not have faces. The Amish believe that creating images that closely resemble people or animals is a form of vanity. Instead, their dolls are typically made from simple materials like wood or cloth. These dolls usually have no faces so that girls can use their imagination freely. The absence of a face also symbolizes that the doll is not a real person. It is considered purely a toy and nothing more. The Amish believe girls should focus on playing with toys that teach practical skills such as gardening or cooking. Even without faces, Amish dolls are beautiful and carefully crafted. They are often handmade with great attention to detail by skilled Amish women. Number 19. Not allowed to work in the church. Biblical teachings guide that women should not hold positions of authority over men. This means Amish women cannot lead the church, such as serving as pastors or bishops. However, they can actively participate in the congregation and play important roles in church activities. They often sing in the church choir and serve on various committees. They also help plan and carry out church events. While Amish men usually make decisions within the community, women are highly respected and their opinions are always valued. This respect comes from the Amish belief that men and women are equal in the eyes of God. Number 18. Women are required to wear head coverings. If you've noticed, Amish women always wear a white bonnet on their heads. These head coverings hold great significance for modesty, as well as cultural and religious reasons. First, it's important to know there are two different types of head coverings that Amish women wear. One type is called a cap. It's usually made from lightweight materials like silk or muslin fabric. Over the cap, they wear a bonnet, which is larger than the cap. The bonnet can also be made from muslin and sometimes cotton. Wearing the bonnet is an important way for Amish women to show that they belong to the Amish community. Unmarried women and young girls wear black bonnets. After marriage, a woman wears a white bonnet. This creates a clear visual distinction between married and unmarried women, which is helpful because Amish people do not wear jewelry, including wedding rings. There are also different styles for married and unmarried men. Before marriage, men must shave clean, but after marriage, they grow and maintain beards. In most Amish communities, girls begin wearing head coverings at a very young age, sometimes as early as 4 years old. By the age of 12, nearly all Amish girls wear head coverings. Number 17. No crossing boundaries before marriage. Amish communities allow couples to kiss while courting, but crossing certain boundaries before marriage is not permitted. Additionally, there is a tradition where courting couples may spend an entire evening together in the same bed, but they are not allowed to touch each other. Instead, they lie wrapped in the bed with a wooden board placed between them. They talk and get to know each other throughout the night, but must not have any physical contact. However, this kind of courting practice is rarely followed in modern times. Number 16. Divorce is prohibited. Divorce is quite common nowadays, but among the Amish, it is not allowed. In the Amish community, marriage is regarded as a lifelong commitment. Divorce is forbidden because Amish culture highly values family stability and unity. This means that once married, a woman is expected to maintain the marriage and work together with her spouse to overcome challenges in order to keep the family strong and united. In some U.S. states, adultery, abandonment, or neglect are valid grounds for divorce. However, the Amish live according to their own rules. If an Amish couple separates due to marital conflicts, every effort is made to help the couple reconcile. However, if the couple insists on divorcing over irreconcilable differences, they must leave the community. Of course, the community elders try to prevent marriages from breaking apart through counseling. If reconciliation fails, the couple faces consequences for violating community regulations. Number 15. Photography is not allowed. This rule applies to both Amish women and men. Photography is generally discouraged because posing for photos is considered too prideful and does not reflect modesty. However, some Amish individuals interpret this rule more loosely and may allow photos if their faces do not appear in the pictures. There are also some Amish women who permit photography as long as the photos are genuine and natural, since they believe that posing for photos is what makes the image inappropriate, not the photo itself. Number 14. A woman's work is never done. The daily life of an Amish woman, even though mostly centered at home, is truly busy. After preparing breakfast for the family, Amish women usually have about 1 or 2 hours to work outdoors in the garden before starting to prepare lunch. It takes around an hour to prepare lunch because the whole family always enjoys a hearty meal together. After lunch, the dishes are washed, and there are about 3 hours left for outdoor chores around the yard or garden. If not, Amish women spend time cleaning the house during spring or helping out in the barn or fields. At 4 p.m., preparations for dinner begin because the cows need to be milked by 5 p.m. After dinner, dishes are washed again, and the kitchen is tidied for the third time that day. Laundry must be taken down and folded. Then the women make sure everyone has bathed and is ready for bed before 10 p.m., so they themselves can rise before 4 a.m. the next day. This is a typical day for an Amish woman, and it repeats throughout her life. This routine becomes even more demanding if there are young children in the family. Number 13. Buttons are forbidden on clothing. In the Amish community, women typically use pins to fasten and secure their clothing, while men use buttons. This is because buttons are often considered a luxury item that could lead to vanity, which conflicts with the Amish values of simplicity and modesty. However, not all Amish communities enforce this rule with the same strictness, and some may allow buttons on certain types of clothing. Number 12. Regulations on women's skirt length. The length of Amish women's skirts varies depending on the community and may also depend on the woman's age. However, in most cases, the hem must reach a certain length, usually no higher than the mid-calf. Additionally, the sleeve length must extend beyond the elbow to maintain modesty. This reflects the Amish emphasis on humility and modesty, and it helps preserve traditional dress within the community. Strict dress codes are an important part of Amish culture and are closely followed by community members. Number 11. Women are expected to have children. In today's world, many women choose not to have children. However, within Amish and Mennonite communities, the idea of not having children or not wanting to become a mother is viewed as going against the community's expectations and values. Because of this, Amish women often have large families, commonly having more than 2 or 3 children. It is not unusual for some families to have as many as 15, 16, or even 17 children. This stems from the Amish strong focus on family and community, where having a large family is seen as a vital and joyful part of their way of life. Number 10. Women must have knowledge of farming. In the Amish community, women are expected to have knowledge about farming and food gathering, and they often work alongside their children in the fields to assist the men. Beyond planting crops, Amish women also learn food preservation skills, such as canning and other preparation methods, which are essential for surviving the long, cold winters. This knowledge and expertise are passed down from generation to generation, helping to ensure the community maintains the skills and resources necessary to uphold their traditional way of life. Girls learn farming and food preservation skills from a young age, so they can support their mothers and grandmothers. Number 9. Women rarely receive formal education. The Amish are often perceived as having less formal education compared to other communities in America. Within the Amish community, formal education typically ends after the 8th grade. At that point, many girls become teachers and help educate the younger children within the community. They are not permitted to attend schools outside the community. As a result, they do not receive new information from outside sources and cannot learn about new developments. Consequently, Amish women generally have no other choice but to become homemakers and care for their families. However, when an Amish child turns 16, whether boy or girl, they have the opportunity to experience things that are usually forbidden in their community, such as technology or alcohol. This rite of passage is called Rumspringa. During this time, Amish youth decide whether the attractions of the outside world outweigh their connection to their community. Once they decide to break the rules, they are recognized as adults. If they choose to live outside the Amish way, they will be excluded from the community and not allowed to return. All contact with friends and family is typically cut off. However, most Amish choose to stay and live according to the traditions of their ancestors. Number 8. Always involved in every community activity. With their simple and peaceful lifestyle closely connected to nature and the village community, individualism has no place in the Amish way of life. Although deeply religious, they do not have churches. Instead, every Sunday, several families from the community take turns gathering at one home or another for worship. Women are expected to participate actively in community work and charitable activities. When a couple gets married, the entire community comes together to help build a house for the newlyweds. What about illness? They do not have hospitals or modern machines. For minor illnesses, they rely mainly on traditional remedies. Fortunately, since they travel by horse-drawn buggy and use simple tools, serious accidents are rare. However, if someone falls seriously ill, the whole community contributes money to send that person to a hospital for treatment. In particular, Amish women typically give birth at home. Since there is no technology like phones or computers in the house, when a woman goes into labor, the men must travel by horse-drawn buggy to call the midwife or bring the wife to her home. I wonder what happens if the midwife isn't home at that moment. That must be quite stressful. Number 7. Mothers teach their children manners from an early age. Mothers begin teaching proper behavior to their children from a very young age. A clear example is the practice of saying grace before meals. Amish mothers train even 1-year-old children at mealtime. They teach toddlers how to place their hands in a prayer position and remain silent before eating. Additionally, mothers prepare their daughters for marriage and motherhood by having them do household chores from an early age. Yes, that's right. In Amish culture, the role of women focuses heavily on domestic responsibilities. This includes skills such as cooking, cleaning, baking, and crafting. Girls do not receive formal sex education, but learn all the household duties to help their families and prepare for their future roles as wives. Number 6. No use of musical instruments. The Amish do not oppose singing, as long as it is done a cappella without the use of musical instruments. They believe that playing instruments during singing is unnecessary self-expression, putting individual talent above the rest of the Amish community. However, they have a long and fascinating history of hymns. Their church songs come from the Ausbund, first published in 1564, which is the oldest collection of Protestant hymns still in use today. These hymns do not have musical notes, perhaps because reading music is seen as another form of vanity. All melodies have been passed down through generations. They typically sing with their own voices without any instrumental accompaniment. Number 5. Pregnant women do not rest. You will never see a pregnant woman resting or being idle in the Amish community. All expectant mothers remain active throughout their pregnancies. The Amish do not practice birth control, so they tend to have many children. Furthermore, a woman's pregnancy is only shared with her husband and midwife. It is not discussed with anyone else in the community. Therefore, a pregnant woman continues her daily hard work as if it were normal, right up until her water breaks. Women still work in the fields, handle all household chores, and care for their husbands without complaint. Afterward, all babies are born at home without pain medication, unless there is an emergency, in which case the woman is allowed to go to the hospital. Number 4. Must consult husband before making any decisions. Amish women are not only expected to respect their husbands, but also need their approval before undertaking any tasks. Whether it's related to household matters or shopping, Amish women must ask their husbands for permission. They are not allowed to make any decisions or purchases without their husband's knowledge. Doing so may be viewed as a sign of disrespect. Husbands are expected to be fully aware of what is happening in their wives' lives and in the family, which is why Amish women always seek their husband's opinions before taking any action. If the husband disagrees, the wife is expected to comply without argument. Number 3. Forbidden from making decisions in the community. In some Amish communities, women may be allowed to contribute to community decisions, but usually Amish women do not participate much. Even if they do participate, their input is very limited. All decision-making authority is given to the men in the community, and women are expected to follow these decisions. The community is led by a bishop who enforces the rules and ensures everyone lives according to Amish traditions. The bishop is always a man and never a woman. This clearly shows that men hold the responsibility for leadership, and women are not involved in making community decisions within the Amish community. Number 2. Not allowed to financially contribute to the family. It is not uncommon for Amish women to earn money. However, the income they earn belongs solely to themselves. Amish women may contribute financially to the family if necessary, but they are expected to keep their money and not spend too much on family expenses. The restriction on financial contribution comes from the belief that the husband should be the sole provider for the family. If an Amish woman provides more financially than her husband can, it may be seen as a sign of the husband's weakness. This implies that the husband is not fulfilling his responsibility for the family's well-being, which could lead to the family being looked down upon and losing respect within the community. So, Being an Amish man carries its own pressures, just like women, doesn't it? Number 1. Women must prioritize the needs of the community first. Amish women are not permitted to act out of personal selfishness and must always place the needs of others above their own. Beyond their families, Amish women prioritize the needs of the church and the community. They also have the responsibility to assist neighbors in times of difficulty. This can include helping with childcare, laundry, cooking, or other household tasks. Amish women are responsible not only for their own families, but also for other families within the community. Therefore, Amish women rarely focus on their own needs. For example, in most cases, they are not allowed to worry about their own health, but must put the concerns of those around them first. So we've just explored some of the unusual rules imposed on Amish women. From restrictions on financial contributions to strictly following their husbands, Amish women truly face many challenges. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. See you in the next videos.